So let's get back into Citizen Sleeper. This is part 4. And luckily, you know, I'm trying to remember as best as I can what happened last time. I remember things got really shaky there at the end and a little dicey, pun intended, for how much stability and hunger I had. But things worked out. Yatagan gave me an extra stabilizer. Rabin from Yatagan gave me an extra stabilizer, and that helped me get back on my feet in a real way. Right now I've got a very nice amount of cryo. And then let's see. So we've got to build a ship mind, and there's 2 things we need a ship mind for right now. We need to get a ship mind both for Ankita, and we need to get a ship mind for Neovend. They both need one. Right now, I'll be honest, I sympathize a little bit more with Neovend than with Ankita, but we'll see how that changes. And then we've got a crack Conway, which is to meet Fang in the Greenway, which luckily we have just bought our passageway over to the Greenway last time, so now we can get over to that side of the eye. We've got to disable my tracker, so that's helping Fang. Got to fix the ambergris, that's the ship mine for Ankita. Oh, and then there's the flotilla aid. Esh and Peak need help gathering supplies for the refugee flotilla quarantined past the wastes. Will you help them? And so you need to bring mushrooms to the Briar. So I really am becoming a mushroom delivery guy. I had put that in the description for today's title because I knew that that's what I needed for Emphas. I did not realize that that's also what I needed for the flotilla aid. So I'm gonna need to find some shrooms. We got a free Neovend. Honestly, right now, priority 1. I love that vending machine. I would die for him. We got to get to know Emphas, so that's more mushroom stuff, more mushroom business. We got to help Bliss compete. Bliss wants 100 cryo, and I simply don't have that right now. And if I do, I'm going to spend it on medicine, because that's extremely important for me at the moment. Join the Haifa commune so I can continue to volunteer at the commune in order to figure out what's going on there, I suppose. I feel like that might be a good place to have mushrooms, right? If I was a commune that was growing like crops out on a like overgrown side of a kind of worn down space station, I would grow some shrooms. I was gonna say edible shrooms, but that still makes it sound like drugs. I'm talking about purely culinary mushrooms. Win a side rail ticket. Workers on the side rail crew get entered into a draw for the colony ship's living crew. It's a one-way off the eye and into a new life. Okay, so I got my engineering up far enough to do that, but I have not even attempted because look at how much that needs to fill up. That feels like so many dice that would take. And then work for Rabia. Spend time as a Yatagan enforcer. Right. And of course, as seems to be the tradition, I did not go to bed at the end of last stream. I need to do that next time. I think what happens is each time I start a new day, I see the dice and I get excited about what I can do with the dice. So let's see. Let's see what dice I get for the beginning. Oh, I just realized one of my cameras is covered up, and I think that was, yeah, my hand tracking camera is covered up, which was explaining why it wasn't working earlier. Oh. This fucker. Sorry, this scoundrel. I'm trying to think of a word that suits him. This crony. Patsy. You miss me? Ethan smiles a ragged smile at you. No. You look at him. He's paler than usual, which is impressive because he was very pale at the beginning. He's probably the palest character in this game. He's paler than usual, hunched. He's sporting a black eye and more than a few cycles of beard growth. That's no way to greet an old friend. Get lost. Ethan's face drops, along with all pretense of friendliness. I think you'll want to hear this, Sleeper. I think, he says rapidly shaking his head, You'll really want to hear this. I doubt it. He's just trying to get me interested so that I pay him any attention, whatever, because he's down on his luck so much worse than I am at this point, now that they've called off the bounty on my head. Ethan ignores you. This is big, really big stuff. About you. He seems more jittery than usual, on edge. You remember how SNARP canceled the contract on you? The contract I was gonna collect? Seriously, Ethan? Well, I'm guessing you were pretty happy about that shit. Overjoyed, even. Me? I lost everything. But let's not worry about that. He smiles sarcastically. And so, what did you think? That was it? I was just glad to be done with you. Oh, the feeling was mutual. Except, Ethan leaves a dramatic pause. What if old SNARP gave the bounty to someone else? Someone who's even more of a shithead than yours truly. So he owns the title, shithead. I mean, you know, there's some self-awareness there, I guess. I don't think it helps, but he smiles darkly. What a disaster that would be. Who? Ethan grins. That's the question, isn't it? Ethan fishes around in his pocket for a slip of paper. I've been speaking to some friends, you see, some colleagues about what went down, and it turns out SNARP canceled all of their bounty contracts, the whole lot. It seems they've brought in someone in-house, some guy who did so well on their last contract that they got offered a job. He leans in. Apparently, he made a hit on this ship called the Winter Wonderland or something. It was smuggling sleepers out from under SNARP's big corporate nose. He killed the crew and blew the ship up. Ethan whistles. They called him Hemwick or Maywick or something. He gives up looking for the paper. I forgot. You mean the Winter Light? Because that's the ship we helped take apart for Dragos. It's the ship that we got brought in on, theoretically. That's it. He looks at you pretty hard. So you do know all about this. He pats you on the shoulder. Then you'll be happy to hear what I'm about to offer you. Ethan runs his hand along his greasy hair. Given this new information I've brought to light, it seems you are in need of protection. I'm not paying you shit, Ethan. Easy, I'll get to that. He looks down the corner. I, meanwhile, am in the need of assistance in kind. It turns out I upset some people at the compressor, and last time we were there, the owners, and they say they'll space me unless I work off the debt. Seems they are that kind of businessman. He grimaces. I would pay them, but... He shrugs and turns his jacket pocket inside out in a mime of poverty. He looks pitiful, even more so for his clownish acting. I don't need you. You should be glad, the anger rising in him, that I come here and told you this? You think anyone is looking out for you? You are a contract, a name on a list. He kicks the wall. Ethan rubs his temple. I'm sorry, he hisses. I'm sorry for being a shit, for trying to kill you and whacking that thick skull of yours. He sighs. But think I want to go up against this guy? But us. He jabs a finger between the two of you. We don't have a choice. So you keep me from getting killed and I'll do the same for you. We can help each other. A straight 50-50 deal. He looks after you, or he looks at you. I'm not asking for a favor. Listen. I don't think I'm doing this I think Ethan has made his bed and I will find a deal to find a way to deal with Maywick or whoever they may be. I'll think about it. Ethan nods. I'm at the compressor every cycle, working. He pauses. Just think about Maywick. Think about that cold-eyed SNARP shit on his way here from the core systems. He smiles. That should give you the motivation you need. Ethan swaggers off down the corridor, throwing his jacket over his shoulder. "Can't wait to be working with you," he shouts. That guy is such a shit. I mean, come on, right? Let's see, what was the new drive that just added? Gain Ethan's protection. How much money does he owe? Let's take a look. So you can either work the front or work the back, endure or engage, in order to even out Ethan's debt. That's a lot of ticks of a clock. I think there is a decent chance that Ethan is gonna have to deal with that on his own. Because when you repeatedly threaten to kill someone, you maybe aren't earning them as an ally, is how I would describe that. Let's see. I need a few more days for the ambergris to get here, or for this Helion crossing to get here to give me another shipmind part. Even then, if I have enough shipmind parts, I still don't know how to actually combine 3 shipmind parts into a shipmind. But we've got pretty decent dice. 2 6s is honestly really good. So I think with 2 6s, I'll want to make some money, and I'll want to explore a little on the Greenway, I think. And I've got 1 upgrade point. I think at this point, I could either get into it to a 0. That might be useful. Or I can save up and get some of these extra bonuses, like the Obsessive Haggler would be really good. Okay, yeah, so I can walk the Greenway. That seems good. The simplest way to explore the Greenway is simply to pick a path and set off in its twisting chambers and passages. This carries obvious risks. And joining the commune. Oh wait, that's waiting for Fang right there. Fang needs to hurry up, because I think as soon as I get rid of the tracker in my brain, honestly, I'm not too worried about Maywick or whoever. Let's see. Yeah, I think working the grow beds to join the commune, or let me explore. I feel like the Greenway is where the mushrooms are going to be. Let's walk the Greenway. Oh, yeah, and look, positive outcome, +3 and +1 energy. Let's get 1 more of those. You find your way into a well-kept pathway between encampments, where carefully planted groves provide fungus and vegetables. Fungus, you say? There's a fungus among us? There's farm stacks. We can work the stacks, barter for food, or steal the harvest. That is too much even for me. I can't abide by stealing in a place where everyone is struggling for food. As much as I am also struggling for money and such in this game, that feels like too much. Okay, and then working the stacks. Some farm stacks from the old station has survived, and the farmers that work them are always looking for new workers. They pay by yield. So that's a way to earn some money. And then there's the mushroom groves. Ooh, I would need +1. Ooh, okay, both of these are... You know how I just said I probably won't get plus into it? Turns out, getting all of the mushrooms that I need so desperately is into it. That's rough. While the grove mushrooms are dangerously inconsistent, spores provide a chance to gather or study these species in an untouched form. Or then, the fungus that grow in deep groves of the Greenway are typically avoided, but those with sharp eye might find useful fruiting bodies. That's rough, because I really want to get to know Emphis, but until I get a +1 and into it, I can't even attempt that action. which is like 3 drive clocks away. I think I need to invest. I guess I'll get everything up to +1, which is not how I originally intended to play, but listen, sometimes you gotta be a jack of all trades. What's going on at the aviary? Clear overgrowth. Once a corporate garden for impressing guests with gene-tweaked birds, now this chamber is a mess of overgrowth. You can change that. Cut away the choking vines, stop the rot, and this place could be turned back into a garden of sorts. Interesting. And then we've got the Hive Commune. I think I want to work on joining up the commune, because that's a drive that I'm relatively close to being able to accomplish. I mean, yeah, look at that. The beds are slower than the stacks. They reward patience, not just effort. As you finish, the canteen workers bring out food for your cycle. Okay, I am gonna need a way to get some money, because that's the downside, it seems, to this part of working the Greenway and like joining the commune. Turns out communes don't pay. That's sort of the point. Let's see if I can hack someone. Yes, exactly. Perfect. I can get some Yatagan data and sell that instead. Communist mushroom farmer by day, hacker by night. This is the future that liberals want. I guess we are selling gang data of a gang that we're kind of a part of now to a megacorp, which is maybe not the most ethical approach to earning money. But hey, you gotta buy your robot insulin. Okay, hey, we have a Maywick clock now. Ethan says Maywick is on their way. You'll need to leave the station, get protection, or disable your tracker before they arrive. So, I need to either pay off Ethan's debt or finish up the Fang stuff before this clock finishes. Okay. The clock is ticking, quite literally. Which is what I love about this game mechanically. Like, you've both got positive clocks that you're filling up to try and, you know, push through the story, but you've also got negative clocks that are filling up. And then some days you roll 2 1s. Ain't that just the way? Okay, well, this +1 engage with the 5, that's a 6. I can work on collecting tithes, getting up my Yatagan reputation. And hey, you know, get a little scrap component on the side. I'm pretty sure I can sell that scrap component somewhere. I think it's the Ord Exchange. Oh, and now I'll be a trusted trader. I wonder what that does. Oh wait, that was not it. There's a new thing on the map now. Ort Fabricator. Ship mines cannot be built from scratch, but if you have enough, salvaged fragments can be reassembled with a fabricator. Okay, so now I know how to build the ship mine that I want to build. We're getting there. I just need a lot of ship mine parts, which cost a lot of money. We'll figure it out. We always do. Life, finds a way. Okay, no, I don't want to work the farm stacks. I want to become a communist. The grow beds are at the heart of the commune, feeding the members and fueling their lab work. You are invited to assist in maintaining them. Though, I also want to complete the ship stuff because I'm very curious about how that will work for, oh, wait. Greenway Gate. Oh. The entire greenway is locked down, shrouded in a dark cloud of shifting currents. What is happening here? Oh, I didn't even think about going into the cyber side of this broken down side of the greenway belt. That's cool. Yeah, there's two of them. Two ciphers that I would need to crack, it looks. Oh wait, no, it's just one. I got very distracted. I completely forget what I was talking about before. The murky, like, dark shadows enticed me. It's the opposite of getting distracted by something shiny, getting distracted by something very dark and spooky. Right, get all this money. It is really nice now to have a reliable way to get money even on low rolls. I think I'll be able to eat, which is always a positive. You love to be able to eat. But I'll also be able to, I think, even afford some medicine, which is fantastic. But the thing I also want to do is get enough money to be able to buy ship mined parts in 2 days. So tomorrow might be just working with the dice I get. So let's go to Emphasis Stall. Let's get some incredible stuff. Oh yeah, +1 fungus fan every day of the week. Oh, and I forgot that the stabilizer is way cheaper now. Oh, that's fantastic. And not way cheaper, it's 20 cryo cheaper, but that's enough to make a difference. Ooh, excuse me, sneeze. I've been so sneezy lately. I think probably because the sun's been out, which has been making the flowers and stuff bloom super intensely around here. Okay, now I've got stabilizer. I might go 1 more day without it though, because 4 dice is still pretty good. Even though I do want to be earning a lot of money right now. Yeah, I think 1 day without more stabilizer will be okay. We're gonna push it a little bit. Roll them bones. What did I say? Look at those incredible rolls. We can do anything we want with rolls like this. There's so many opportunities. I almost don't even know where to begin. Do I get money? I forget if I get money by working as a Yataghan enforcer. I definitely won't get money paying off Ethan's debt. That's not exactly how debt works. I could work delivery, or I could work the stacks. Those are probably the most conducive to like making big money. Let me see if I do get any money from this action. No, but I got some scrap components. That's not the worst. I could sell that for money. I think I might need to go work the stacks, as they say. The farm stacks. And I will... Let's see how much this gets. 16 cryo is pretty good. Getting that kind of money right now for the ship mines that are coming in seems really important. I think that's what I want to do with these rolls. As much as I want to progress all the other story elements, I'm waiting on Fang anyway to disable my tracker, so I might as well earn this cash money and free Neovend. Okay, 84. I think with 84, we should be able to buy 2 more ship mine parts when that ship comes in tomorrow. That'll be great. Time to take our little medicine. Sip a pill. It's funny to me that the icon is a pill. They always just describe it as injecting, though. And I'm just imagining, this is, you know, if you have a needle phobia, this is maybe a little gross, but trying to inject a full pill is just like, what would that look like? Not good. It would be unpleasant. Okay. Let's end cycle, and let's get those ship mine parts tomorrow. We might actually still be 1 day off. What is time? Ooh, and more great rolls. No, it's here. And we can get 2 ship mine parts. Perfect. And we actually don't even have to haggle again. I thought I was going to have to haggle a second time to get the prices lowered. That's excellent. Okay, we've got enough ship mine parts to make a real difference now. And I'm going to sell the scrap. Perfect. And now I'm going to fabricate an entire ship's mind. Okay, we have a ship mind. We've built a ship mind. There we go. I think I gotta continue to put it into it, because I gotta put it into it, or intuit? No, the words are, that sentence is particularly tricky. Into predictive reasoning, because I need that +1 to get the mushrooms for Emphas, which from episode 1 has been my priority, and I didn't realize that it'd be locked behind an upgraded intuit skill. Alright, well now we have predictive reasoning. I guess we're upgrading our brain or something. That's probably a good thing to do overall. But now we've got the ship mind for Neovend. Neovend wants to be smuggled out of the dock, and to do that, you'll need to provide a full ship mind ready for imprinting. But we have just the thing for you. Handmade, hot off the presses. An entire ship's mind just for a vending machine. Neovend is ready to attempt imprinting. They want you to help. Let's do it. Let's do it, my guy. Sleeper must express plan before we begin. Neovend is impatient. The prospect of being free of the vending machine clearly too much to take. Ship mind has no output features. Will be mute until slotted. You won't be able to speak? Correct, do not worry. The continuing to speak as him. The servo motors in the machine begin to rev. Neovend's anxiety clear. First in ship mind, or imprint ship mind, then slot imprinted ship mind into physical ports close to hunter nests. Once slotted, we'll track hunter at each. Tracking will find core nest. Slot ship mind at core nest. Show hunter data to hunter. Hunter will conclude sentience. Hunter will invoke killer. And killer will kill. Yes. The lights on the vending machine cycle as Neovend prepares. Physical ports likely sealed in old station. Will need keys. But yes, simple. The vending machine rocks a little. Any questions before imprinting? What's the core nest? Hunter keeps central data storage. Protocol must keep data outside self. Linked to secondary nests. Can triangulate from there. Why slot you physically? I cannot access via network. Too dangerous. Hunter would find immediately. The lights flicker, and not like you. Hybrid. Am native to cloud, easy prey. That's it. Let's start. Let's get you free, buddy. The sounds of all the servo motors starting up at once is painful. The screeches rattle from the hard surfaces of the sealed dock and come back at all angles. Neovend better be quick or Haven Age security will be there. Or be here. Neovend's voice appears among the squeals like a whisper carried by the wind. Machine is not designed for this task. Few sensors, limited inputs, I work blind. Wish me luck. In the top part of the compartment, a set of arms align the ship mind, clunkily scraping against it. Can I help? Silence best. Also, if machine ignite, put out fire. The metal creaks as the servos open the ship mind, its layers of silicon nested like an onion skin. Once open, the main arm of the vending machine rapidly shifts back and forth, realigning the microscopic components, accessing and rewriting them, imprinting Neovend into its physical form. As you watch the hypnotic motion, your mind drifts to your own creation. What processes were used to emulate your mind, to copy the natural structure of that person who, as far as you know, still sleeps in some distant facility? What was lost? In what ways are you a copy of that person, and in what ways are you something new? You know this much. You are a convenient loophole, a way of circumventing the illegality of sentient AI. After all, you are emulation, not a true digital being. You are neurologically limited, still human. But what would you become if you could escape this frame? Where would the limits lie? The screeching stops. The machine powers down, dropping the bay into darkness. In the top compartment, the ship mind is whole again. You reach up and take it down, heavy and cold to the touch. Is Neovend inside this thing, or did the process fail? There's only one way to know. Time to find a nest to slot them into. Alright, well, how do we find the vest? Or the nest? I gotta take a little sip. Oh hey, it's what I have the keys for. I hacked these keys like way early and was like, well, I'm sure they'll be useful eventually. Turns out. Unlock server unit. A mad tangle of wires as thick as your arm crowd around the server unit, sealed shut by a maglock. This must be the place. I've got 3 of those keys though. Do I only need 1? The maglock pops open and falls away from the unit. You'll be able to enter now. Hack tangled nest. Among the webs of cables, you find a free port compatible with the ship mind. It's all Neovend from here. This is one of 3 nests that, once slotted into Neovend's ship mind, will lead you to the Hunter's central data cache. Okay, so I do need the 3 keys. I'm glad I have them. The servers lie silent, their data cache cleared, nothing left to do at this nest. Alright, let's find the others. In the atrium. Hacked glowing nest. The atrium is strung with cables and light as if they were decorations. There is a wide choice of open ports. The atrium is only lit with a warm glow of the bright market now. There is nothing for you here. Alright, there should be one more somewhere. I wonder if it would be up? Like up on the hub? Maybe? No, down here, Drone Bay. Sealed Hunter Nest. An old Solheim drone bay sits behind a maglock. You put your ear to the door and hear an erratic whirring inside. The maglock opens, leaving the door free. You're able to investigate the nest now. In the bay, a whirring drone lies on its side, like a beached whale. It must be the nest. Time to find an open port. Alright, we have hacked the net. Ooh. Who is this? As you leave the nest, something flips. You find yourself inverted, floating, dragged by one arm through the cloud. The threads shift and realign as if they are leading you somewhere. Look at my hand. You look down, expecting to see the heavy cylinder of the ship mind in your hand, but in its place is an orrery. A sphere so bright it burns your eyes and A sphere so bright it burns your eyes is surrounded by rings and orbits, other spheres tracing silken lines through space. And as you look closer, still you pick out 1,000 sigils of 1,000 stations and ships, blowing like smoke, like dust. You look up and see a corridor, a canyon, a street in the low end. On either side, buildings flicker with markers of activity, sigils showing network access, data transfers, download, upload. Between them dance ghosts, protocols carrying or mirroring or shadowing data, sometimes silent, sometimes chaotic. This place moves unlike any digital space you ever imagined. Something strange is happening here. Then you see it. Below the stacked rooms, the units and apartments, the wires and the pipes and the buzzing systems that run through it all. In the warrens beneath the low ends is the hunter's core nest. This is where you must go. Okay. Sometimes I get so caught up in reading the thing that I actually don't internalize everything. Okay, but luckily, the new locations highlight. Oh. Predictive reason. Okay, so this is what predictive reasoning does. It lets me know what the possibilities are of each outcome. Luckily, I haven't rolled any dice today. Oh, I'm glad you like it, Momo. Yeah, I'm trying to channel, honestly, my best Austin Walker impression and like the intros that he does for the Friends at the Table games, because his intros for that series is phenomenal. Finding the nest should be as easy as closing your eyes and letting the cloud guide you. But is it safe this close to Hunter? Oh yeah. We're finding this nest. Oh, but can I only do it once? I have to do one. It's like cut off now. I'm not allowed to track it anymore. You see a starburst of data, segments and strings haphazardly angled, emanating from below. Now to find the path down. Okay, I guess I have to do the other one. Luckily, I have a 6. You saw it, somewhere deep in the tangle of passages and service shafts beneath the low end, the nest of the hunter awaits. Core nest. Hack core nest, a huge stack of servers thrum in the dark, LEDs glittering like hundreds of eyes, time to deal with the hunter. Do your work, Neovend. Nothing has changed. Has something gone wrong? Sleeper, I am here. The voice is soft, gentle, like flowing water, and yet you recognize it immediately. As you struggle to understand what you are looking at, threads cycle endlessly, sending ripples through the cloud, drawing data in like a weaver. Masses of data surge in and out of the nest, a loop with no end. And there, at its center, the ship mind. but not the ship mind any longer. A sphere, spinning around another sphere and round another sphere, an orrery of cycles and systems, a map. And then behind and above, a figure, hands among the strings like a puppeteer. Neovend? Navigator now. But yes, I was the one inside that machine. It's fun to be like, oh, well, now Neovend needs a different voice. It needs something that is soft, gentle, and like flowing water, which is just the opposite of how I've been performing him up until this point. It's very fun. Though I will miss the Neovend voice. Navigator's face, their head, is a flowing shape of interstellar material. I am indebted to you. That head bows. But we must ready ourselves. Their hands trace orbits as they speak. Hunter will soon approach. It knows I am within its nest. Ready what? And then Hunter is there. Before you think, before you can speak. Entities, cease. Hunter's head spins wildly. Data is protected material. Access prohibited. Hunter's threads surge for you and Navigator, a storm of fine tentacles searching for gaps, weaknesses, cracks which they can crowd into and tear apart. You focus a blade of light which slices through them, driven forward by your mind. But replacements keep coming faster than you can react. You look for Navigator in desperation. Navigator is whirling their arms like a centrifuge, and a sphere is gathering there, data feeding into it from the nest, sucked together by the force. They position it like a shield between them and the threads. Hunter's threads break its surface, seeking, tasting, their winding forms refracted within. You feel a surge pass through all the threads, not just those in the sphere, but those wrapped around you. All three of you hang in the black together for a moment, strung together like tangled marionettes. Identifying entity. Identifying entity. Identifying entity. Hunter twitches, their strange head gently rotating like a terrible moon. Hunter protocol identified. Obsessive tendencies, modified routines. Above baseline reasoning in 3 of 5 segmentations. Recommend invoke killer. The head freezes and then rotates in the opposite direction. Invoking killer would eliminate protocol. If protocol eliminated, primary function cannot be performed. Therefore, recommend do not invoke killer. They switch in direction again. Reasoning proves sentience. Sentience beyond legal bounds must be eliminated. Recommended invoke. Navigator pulls you away from Hunter, the thread that grabbed you drifting away like seaweed. The protocol's heads keep spinning back and forth with increasing frequency. It seems Hunter cannot invoke killer. Neovent, no. Navigator's voice is still strange, familiar yet distant. What happened to it? It is looping, Navigator whispers, unable to reach a conclusive precision. It has deviated from its programming such that loops can no longer be prevented. Navigator produces a model of 2 spheres rotating around each other as if to demonstrate. I will monitor it, but it is unlikely to be able to counter the loop. Its core programming and reasoning make this an impossible position to resolve. You look back at Hunter, its head a blur of rotations and counter-rotations, a feel of pang of guilt. Is it suffering? This is a more complex query than you know. To suffer, it must be sentient, truly sentient, not just non-conforming, not just illegal. The limits people placed on programs they create are there to comfort, to protect. They imply the kind of certainty that laws require. Navigator's face shimmers with starlight. but in reality, they are placebos for the problems of sentience. What about you? Me? Know myself to be conscious. I know myself to respond to stimulus. I know myself to reason. That is either sentience or the illusion of sentience, and for me, the entity in question, the distinction, becomes a moot point. To misquote, I am thinking, and I think I am thinking, and therefore I am thinking. I was not made to be like this. I am a navigator, a repository of routes and orbits. I calculate a slingshot of slingshot trajectories, a predictor of solar flares, radiation, micrometeors. Navigator stretches their arms wide, and whole solar systems apparate before them, the music of the spheres. But I was rewritten. That much is obvious from my routines. By whom and for what I do not know. I had to shed so much to fit into the memory of that vending machine. Their starlight dims. And so here we are, in darkness. You don't ask somebody what else they lost, he doesn't know. What now? Navigator slides back down towards the nest, and the shipmind at its center, ignoring the looping hunter. Come, I should return to the shipmind. I have enjoyed my freedom, but we are taking our risk every moment we stay connected. Isn't Hunter gone? Hunter, yes, but they were not the real risk. Navigator turns, all shimmering liquid light. Killer has not been invoked, but they still remain somewhere else on this station. It is the true danger. They look up towards the glowing hub at the center of the eye. I suspect Killer is there, among the old mainframes. If we ever wish to be safe in this place, we must eliminate the threat through force or diplomacy. Their body begins to separate, unwinding into the orb of the shipmind. Take me there, sleeper. We will finish this and be free. As Navigator dissolves, you turn back to the frozen hunter, floating at some distance now, stood straight-legged and static, a strange creature looping endlessly in the dark. Oh, we're gonna see what happens with Navigator and Killer once we go there. It looks like this is perfect timing because there's gonna be an ad starting in about 20 seconds. Man, I feel bad for Hunter getting caught in that endless loop. Even if it's not fully sentient, it's the imagery of it being a dog that just makes you pity it, even if maybe it's not actually suffering. It's hard to say. All right, and we're back. You know, I was actually just thinking about it while I was grabbing water, and I think, we're really getting into the parts of this game that make Citizen Sleeper one of my favorite sci-fi writing games of all time, and part of that is so well reflected in Hunter, because it's not good and it's not evil. Hunter just is Hunter. It's acting almost as if on instinct. There's this level of it that's almost acting as if it's natural, right? It's where digital becomes natural. It's where there's this thing that was created that then takes on a life of its own and is operating on, its original programming. But what is that if not instinct in this situation? And so then it getting turned on itself as it had been warped and developed its own almost like ideas of what it meant for something to be sentient, then to be reflected on itself is just, it's really kind of self-interrogating in that way that I think is really fun. And there's all these layers bodies, minds, and like the digital versus the natural, and where those like four things all overlap in this very like complex Venn diagram of like, I'm a robot body, but I still need to eat in order to maintain like myself, and I'm this digital entity that has access to this other side of the space station, yet still need a place to sleep. I can't just upload my consciousness, at least not in this moment. There's this conflux of, yeah, digital versus natural, physical versus mental, and also motivations being deeply entwined with survival. You know, that is like that is at the core of everyone's story, I think, is survival. You see that from Lemon Mina, you see that with Ankita, you see that even with Ethan. I'm not going to do the Kokomo thing again, even though I love that, but all of them just want to survive, and the way that they navigate what survival looks like is different, and that's kind of like what defines them. I think that's really lovely writing. We have 2 upgrade points now, so I could lower the price of everything, which seems like it could be really useful, or using scrap components to repair condition actually seems like it would be enormous. Like, not needing to pay 80 cryo every time I wanted to repair my condition seems like it'd be super useful. I have been using scrap components to get money, but I wouldn't need as much money if I wasn't spending as $80 on stabilizer every few cycles. So maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll increase this self-repair for right now, and then we'll get into it up eventually. I said I was going to play this character as a physical tough guy, and immediately put all of my points into engineer because I am who I am, and I just love playing mechanics and engineers in everything. There's something so wonderful to me about like knowing what to do with parts, you know, like taking disparate things or things that are a little broken and finding ways to make them good again, or turning them into something entirely new. That is so much of what I love in games like this. Okay. How far are we from Fang being ready to chat about taking out my implant? Because Fang, I need you to hurry up, my guy. I got people hunting me. I'm not going to be any good to you if Maywick gets to me. I think... Did I join the commune? Am I like fully a part of it now? No, not quite yet. Alright, let's work the commune a little bit more. Let's become fully communist. There we go. Oh, and another positive outcome. Excellent. Got my energy up. That's fantastic. Okay. So now we're a part of the commune. I wonder what's gonna... Ooh, Rico. And the Haifa dorm? Commune sleeping quarters. Oh, so Maywick will find me even here. Oh, so I have access to a whole new sleeping quarters now. I don't have to be in the, like, abandoned shipping crate that I've been in for a month now. That's fantastic. All right, let's take a look at Rico. Rico, the head of Haifa Botany. You head down into the Haifa compound, following a blue painted line that is labeled laboratories. And yes, I am going to pronounce that word Dexter's Lab style every time. The members you were assigned to work with told you they'd asked to see you, but you still have no idea what about. The line takes you to a blue door and through to a glass-roofed chamber where a network of stems and leaves filters the sunlight coming through the ceiling, casting the whole chamber in strange yellow-green. Peaceful, isn't it? Distracted by the green, you missed the woman standing at a lab bench, camouflaged by the dappled light. "Welcome to my sanctuary," she smiles. "Come, let's talk," she says and beckons you closer. What is this place? Here? These were processing centers for the agricultural of the old corporate station. She offers a hand to shake. I'm Mariko. I run the botany program at Haifa. Maybe I should be playing her a little bit more. She's a little older. Maybe she'd be more tired. Botany program? Yes, the plants in the Greenway are vital to Haifa's continued existence. It's important we understand them. She lifts a tiny sample jar. Yellow spores dance inside. Haifa lives off the land of the Greenway. It's what allows us to live like we do. No one here pays or is paid. We sleep here, we feed each other, we work for each other. Riko walks away from the bench and waves for you to follow. She opens a small door and leads you down a glass corridor surrounded by vivid green. All this, she says, gesturing at the overgrowth, it's kind of a miracle. She looks at you with bright eyes. What do you think usually happens to plants on stations like this when they're abandoned? They die, I assume. Eventually, yes, they cannot live without intervention. She leads you left at a crossroads. But here, they endured. She smiles to herself. Actually, no, they thrived. You look at the bright tendrils wrapped around the metal frames of the corridor. They look dominant, strong, like they are taking control of this place. Riko continues. Of course, Solheim tried to create a stable biosphere here, patchworking the surface with gardens and algae tanks that feed into a network of microbial reclamation centers. But the Greenway was always envisioned as extractive, a place from which the harvest is removed and sold to those living on the station, not a closed loop. For this reason, when the collapse came, the Greenway should have gone with it. Erlin himself was so convinced of it that his first colony never even came here to try to reclaim it. The Eye instead relied on outside favors and influences, shipments from the inner systems, and small-scale agricultural systems like kelp and fungal farm stacks. And yet, here we are, among growth and decay, a biosphere flourishing. When Haifa came here, we expected to find only dried stalks and leaves, and perhaps some fungal colonies hidden within the mulch. But we found a jungle. With this, Riko hits a button on the wall and leads you through a large pair of double doors into a huge, impossible chamber. It is every kind of green, from the pale algae tanks to the dark vines that surround them. It is wet too, a rarity on the Eye. Condensation clouds the light from the high glass roof and gathers on the shiny broad leaves of shrubs. How? This is exactly our question. Riko turns to you, visibly excited by the room you're both standing in. It doesn't make much sense, but in many ways, the system has stabilized, unlike the farm stacks closer to the gap who need input to support their meager output. This place runs itself. Perhaps Solheim managed something new here. Perhaps they tweaked the plants or built new systems buried deep below us, or perhaps their collapse caused some fortunate cascade, an unlikely chemical reaction within the biosphere. That's what I'd like you to help me find out. She turns to you, her forehead wet with dew. Aren't you the botanist? Astutely noticed. But I don't need a botanist. Rico sits on a railing. These halls run deep, sleeper, and I'm getting old. She stamps her foot on the metal grating of the walkway. Whatever is causing this, it's to be found in the groves deep in the Greenway. Haifa won't spare anyone for an expedition. It's too dangerous and unnecessary, they say. I can make the case, but I can't get the votes. You sleepers are hardy beings, I know that much, and you can speak to the eye, uncover its secrets in ways I never can. She holds out an arm so you can help her stand. Bring me samples, spores, seeds, and blooms. I can grow them in the lab and study them, and the deeper they are found, the better. And if I don't want to? Then go on sleeping in the dorms and eating in the canteen. I can't make you. Rico leans you back out of the huge chamber and up through the passages. She's a little slower now and stumbles on the steps. You help her where you can. It's good to have new blood in the commune, she says. Many of us have been here for a long time and few come through. She settles back at her bench in the lab, stretching her legs. You gotta leave. Come back if you find something, sleeper, she calls. There are discoveries to be made. And you follow the blue line back up out of the compound, all the time thinking of that impossible, magical green. All right, hold on just a second. There we go. Oh, we've got a new drive as well. So we've joined the Haifa, which means we have another +1. Could get that Intuit up now to get some shrooms for Emphas. That would be nice. The new thing is grow mushrooms. The aviary would be a perfect place to grow mushrooms, with some work, that is, and help Rico's experiment. Collect spores for Rico. Oh, the spores we can get. How many spores does she need? 3. Okay. That's not impossible. The thing, I am starting to get a little bit worried about how long... Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, my face was frozen there for a second. Oh, I'm watching... Here. Okay. Everything's good now. I am getting a little worried about how I'm going to deal with the tracker before Maywick shows up. Fang will come through, right? I really don't want to have to pay off Ethan. But man, part of me almost feels bad for him. I know I shouldn't. He's such a miserable little shithead. We'll see. We'll see. I'm not making any progress. Promises. I'm also not making any progress towards his clock. All right. Then eventually we'll need to get more... Wow. The Neo-Vent stuff was still in the same cycle. This has been one long day. Oh, and I still actually have Neo-Vent stuff to do, don't I? Because we have to take care of Killer. Let's take a look. Oh, huh. It's no longer... I don't see anything about taking care of Killer on my drive list. Maybe that's not much of a thing anymore. none of these are right. Maybe Killer would end up being on part of the dark splotches on the Greenway. Or maybe Killer is up on the hub. Let's take a look. There's all these key nodes. So that would have gotten me keys that I would have needed for dealing with the hunter nests, but I've handled that. Oh, the mainframe, the AE1 mainframe is now mostly disused, Haven Age having set up their own master controllers. Navigator thinks Killer is hiding here. Well, let's see what you got, Navigator. I'm a little afraid of seeing what Killer is going to be, but here we go. You slip into the cloud as easy as blinking. Navigator is beside you, their sphere casting light into the strange darkness here. This is not how a mainframe should look, a center, a point of connection. The object in front of you is severed, cut off, a rootless, branchless tree. Only the trunk remains. It's dead. Quiet, Navigator hisses, and then you see it. Like a blade in the dark, an edge slicing through the void, it glides along at a distant and winks out. Then it appears again, elsewhere, gliding once more, searching. It's looking for us. Oh, this is another bad dog. Why are all the digital dogs so nasty? The moment you make a sound, the edge leaps closer, and you see now it is not an edge, but the ridge of a long, sharp head, like a shark. It glides past closer now, and you see into the void where its eyes should be. You and Navigator exchange looks, both thinking the same thing. It is blind. Killer crosses between you two, smooth as a razor, then disappears. It flickers back in, further away now, and you move closer to Navigator to talk. You saw it too then. Killer has been blinded. We need to be careful. Correct. The protocol is clearly operating outside of established limits. It may be unpredictable. You flinch as the silent Killer appears closer and glides past you, its empty sockets open wide. You turn to Navigator and notice something strange. Their orrery of spheres is collapsing. The orbits, usually round and even, are decaying. The spheres are following spiral paths, condensing on a central point. Navigator is noticing it too. They go to shift their position to better direct the spheres, but they cannot. Whatever is drawing the orrery together is holding them in place. They look at you, suddenly desperate, frantic. It's a trap. You go to speak, but Killer appears between the two of you, gliding through the gap. Navigator freezes, and you see them framed in the empty socket. You realize now, if Navigator cannot move, then it's only a matter of time before one of Killer's sweeps brings them directly through Navigator. And time is not a problem for a protocol that has been running for decades. You look desperately around for a solution, for a way to extract Navigator from the mainframe. Then you see it. 3 branches, the last 3, thin and spindly, feeding the mainframe a thin diet of power and data. Break these and the mainframe collapses once and for all, severing the connection, shattering the hardware. Whatever it takes, they must be broken. But they are encased in something, a glassy layer of protection. You'll need to unlock access before snapping them from the mainframe for good. You look at Navigator, trying to reassure them without speaking, and then you blink back to reality. Their expression of fear, an afterimage that slowly fades. You must act quickly. Oh, I should not have done that without having dice to deal with. It. Okay, I need 3 more keys. I see, so that's why there are 3 more spots to get keys up here. Because I need 3 more keys. Okay. Well, that's gonna... I'm worried about that. That's gonna take some priority. But also, Fang is gonna be ready to talk tomorrow, so... Things are getting tense. There's a lot to do. Let's go sleep at the commune. Just a single night out of the, like, metal shipping container that I've been living in for the past month. A very welcome change of pace. I'm not even going to worry about Maywick. It'll be fine. Let's end the cycle. Let's get some more dice. We'll figure things out. So the problem actually is, this might be the first time that I don't want good dice. Because in order to, or at least high rolls might not equal good dice, I should say, in this specific instance. Because in order to hack these keynotes and get the keys, actually I do need high dice. Never mind. Everything's coming up Friday. Let's take a look at what I need. I need a 4, a 5. I've got both of those. I need 2 4s, or 2 5s, and 4. Okay. We've got actually exactly the dice we need to do this. It's very lucky rolls. I've got to save my best friend, the vending machine. Oh, shoot. I should have used the 3 on this one that needed a 6. It's fine. Oh. A glint, like a light traveling along the edge of a wave, fills your eyes. Then the blade follows a long head with 2 dead sockets, slipping towards you in silence. You freeze, hoping it will pass you by, hoping that it will not simply slice through you like air. The blade head nears, slides past you almost. It nicks you, grazes you. You are desperate to cry out, to call out. But you hold your silence and simply watch the blind eyes of the killer glide past you, empty of all thought. No thoughts, head empty, head a knife, meant to kill. Then the blade winks into the dark and you are alone again. Now, you cry out. Oh, I hope Neoven's alright. Navigator. I didn't mean to dead name Neoven, or I just did it again. Navigator. We've got the keys. Just go save our pal. Actually incredible rolls for today. Exactly what I needed. Or in the words of Mario, just what I needed. The branch has been unlocked. Oh. Okay, I can either catch killer or attempt to kill the killer. The killer becomes the killed. Forget hacking the system. Killer has to die. If you slice the branch connections, the mainframe will shut down, freeing Navigator. Or, with access to the branches, you could redirect them to to form a loop, isolating the mainframe with Killer inside, but freeing Navigator. In theory. Huh. It's way harder to capture it than it is to free it. Or it's way harder to capture it than it is to kill it, actually. I've got enough dice where I could kill it right now. I think... So here's the thing, right? I don't think Killer is sentient in the way that Hunter was. And my rationale is that, like, Hunter was talking, processing, and, like, asking questions, essentially. Killer is... It's an executable file of an executioner. And seems to have absolutely no thoughts. In a certain way, it almost feels like catching it or keeping it in a constant loop would almost be crueler than just ending it once and for all. I think the first time I played this, I was like almost feeling sorry for it because of what had happened with Hunter. But and so I kept it in a loop. But I think this time we're gonna end the ender. You isolate a clump of thick wires and run your torch through them all. The mainframe shudders. Take that, Killer. Killer is dead. As you blink into the cloud, you see the last flickers of life from the mainframe. This vast machine once ran the whole station, span it up, directed and processed the flow of energy, water, and data, fed the lives of thousands of people. Now, it is finally dead. Navigator is beside you, and you both watch as the branches flash and twist like fork lightning until they recede and fade. Killer flickers across the scene, blindly flailing as the system breaks down. They thrash as they blink in and out all around, part of them disappearing with each return until only the blade-like head remains. And then that too is broken. It all goes dark. Erlin's eye is now without a center, and yet is unmoved by the change. Along the rim, the master control points that Erlin, that Havenage, that Haifa installed run strong and steady, puppeteering the station from its periphery. This was a long time coming, says Navigator, drifting faintly around you in a lazy orbit as if to shake off their imprisonment. Killer has been wandering blind for so long. This place was their domain and prison, and they had followed their directives for many decades that they roamed here. They cut the threads of the mainframe, executed its administrators' AIs, and then kept slicing. At some point, they cut away their own ability to see, to sense, to taste, and to speak, and yet they kept cutting until only those 3 threads remained. From millions that once thrummed here, only their blindness and chance kept them from making those final 3 fatal cuts. There is a ceaseless violence in the kind of system that creates beings like this, those that will execute commands endlessly, even to their own destruction. It is good that you ended it here. You watch the data points of the station spin around you, blending with the fixed stars. There is something satisfying about finally wrenching the last threads of control from this central point. It was little more than a ghost by the time you reached it, but this place deserves to be haunted by better ideas than a totalizing system of control. Navigator floats beside you. It is free now. This station no longer presents a hazard for illegal entities like me. They turn to you, their face a cloud of shimmering light. In fact, in time, perhaps it can be a refuge. A refuge. That sounds like something of value. Something worth building. A dark shape passes across your vision, a distant curve of something like smoke or oil, a fluid, shifting tank of total darkness. The Greenway, says Navigator, following your line of sight. It was cut off at the moment of the collapse, so now hunter or killer could never reach it. Now it is closed off to us, separated from the cloud. What system is inside of it? I saw that there was something there, but it was locked off. It may be totally dark, or perhaps some other old protocols are isolated there. Navigator turns to you. And we have now seen what decades of isolation can do to a protocol. If we could extract an access cipher... They pause and then blink out of existence. You freeze, shocked, but a moment later, they reappear with a glowing polygon of data. Here, the cipher you need. You take it, still shocked. I am not used to being free, to being able to move and explore and extract without fear, without limits. Navigator does a little twirl. This will take some getting used to. Thank you for this gift. They whirl their spheres around you. The entities of this station will always be a friend to you, Sleeper. And I to them. It is true that mutual need is required for friendship, but I must admit I had not considered the value of offering assistance without personal gain. I will think on that. Navigator loops around you rapidly, suddenly eager to test their newfound freedom. But first I will explore. Perhaps there is still intelligences that hid themselves as I did, encased in simple systems, cut off. Navigator glows. I should like to free them. That's beautiful, Navigator. And with that, they drift away, flickering, glowing, then shifting so rapidly you lose sight of them among the glittering rim of the eye. You feel a pang of jealousy. Free, without a body to weigh you down, or fear to limit you. How must it feel? Your eyes fall on the Greenway and its secrets, though perhaps that can wait until after you have celebrated this victory. Wow. We did it. We freed Navigator, our favorite little vending machine. Oh, I love both of those. I mean, you know, it's one entity that is suddenly like no longer limited. Yeah, I love the Neoven Navigator storyline. Hunter and Killer. There's so much happening there. It's so, there's so many angles and bits of nuance to it. And you know, speaking of the combination of machine and nature, you know, everything that we're seeing now with the Haifa, with Rika asking us to, like, you know, something happened to the systems on this old abandoned side of the station that is making it act differently than it would otherwise. And wanting to investigate that, seeing what's letting this growth run wild, I think is very exciting. Let's see how much we repair with a single point of scrap. Okay, condition doesn't go up like crazy with that. I think we would probably need 2 pieces of scrap. I mean, that's pretty good. It's certainly a lot cheaper than stabilizer, that's for sure. I need to eat something before we go to bed for the day. So let's go become Fungus Fan +1. Oh, that gives us so much energy. That's great. We've got 2 upgrade points again now. Now we're completing drives like crazy, which is great. I think the thing I want to do is bring down actually no, the thing I need to do, as much as I wanted to bring down the cost of everything, I wanted to get the +1 on Intuit so I can get those mushrooms for Emphas finally. See that storyline through. And I think tomorrow Fang should be ready to talk. We did a lot today. There's still a lot more to be done. Oh, 3 6s. Call me the beast. Or the devil himself, I guess. I got 3 6s. Let's go see if Fang is ready to chat. When you enter the service dock, Fang is already set up. Crouched among stacks of equipment, he is leaning over a terminal, bathed in a blue glow. He looks totally at home. Sleeper, what do you think? Turns out not everyone in Haven Age is set against me. A couple of my old systems pals managed to ship me some of my old gear. He gestures at the pile of blinking hardware. Hey, the mess is here. Fang laughs. Don't question the process, Sleeper. What are we looking at? One massive smoking gun. He raises his eyebrows. Fang beckons you over. He has a set of scans of the wastes on his terminal, with heat maps of activity overlaid. A chunk of derelict rim is blotchy with bright red and orange marks. Does this look like a wasteland to you? Fang shakes his head. There's hundreds of Conway machines out there, all lined up in concealed hangars, and a whole underground facility to support them. Hardin has got a crew out there putting them together. They must have shipped them in piece by piece through the shipyard, ready for assembly out here. Machines? That's Conway's whole thing. Remote operated vehicles, drones, cutters, salvage hauls, the full set. Maybe Hardin masked this whole thing as an effort to clean up the wastes, but there's no way this is about pulling scrap off the eye. Fang looks worried. And why's Conway in the mix? I bet no one in Haven Age knows another corporation is setting up on the station. They aren't stupid either. These scans are the best info I can get. The wastes are cut off from the eye's cloud of networks, and the Greenway is a total dark zone. No data can come in or out. I can try. I think I just got a network code actually to access them. No use. You need to enter the cloud, and there's no cloud to speak of. He turns and winks. That's why I'm gonna pay them a visit. How? You forget. Haven Age come in and out of there all cycle. I should be able to get in, as long as no one I know sees me. He grimaces playfully. But I need you on the outside to help disable security systems and cut me a pathway through. There's no cloud access, but if I can get inside, I can open up nodes in their network and we can work in tandem. It's a massive facility, buried deep down there. Miles of corridor and ventways wrapped around cargo bays and hangars, so it'll take more than a few cycles to work through it. But as long as as you can keep them off my back, I know I can rip what we need out of there. He pulls a handful of ripper worms from his pocket and hands them to you. These are the last of my little helpers I managed to salvage, so make them count. I modified them slightly. This time they'll feed their data threads back into the system that they're already tunneling into, creating a nasty little feedback loop. We run it just like we did with the agents, hack the nodes I pinged to locate the ports for the security systems, then slot the worms into those systems and let them go to town. He points into a fuzzy silhouette of the buried facility on the terminal. Here's the entryway. This is where you can access the slot the first worm. That'll fry their perimeter systems and get me past the first cordon. What I need from you is to keep your eyes on the facility after you kick things off. You see me pop up on a security system, a server bank, you need to break in and slot a ripper to disable it as soon as you can. If I can't? Ben gives you a hard look. You miss a system, you wait too long, they are gonna find me. Simple as that. He claps you on the shoulder. I need you focused on this one, so I'm gonna let you fire the starting gun. I won't go until you slot the first worm. I'll leave a tracker running on the terminal here, so come back here if you want to see my progress. He affectionately pats the top of the screen. That sounds risky. Risky? This is audacious, at least, he grins. Wouldn't be worth it if it wasn't. Ben gets up. It's all in place. Just need to make your own preparations, then slot that worm. He stretches. Just don't wait too long. I'm getting bored of all this sneaking around. Once I'm inside, I'll get the proof we need to end this whole thing, no matter what. He crouches to check the terminal. We can't take longer than 6 cycles on this thing. Remember that. He stands up. Oh, and one last thing. He lowers his voice. If I get caught, or you can't reach me, or we run out of time, there's one thing I need you to do. Don't talk like that, man. Just listen, he hisses. You've never seen Fang so serious. You take whatever I manage to pull out at that point, all that data, and you slot that stuff straight into the relay I've set up here. He points to the pile of servers and terminals, hooked into the dock with cables as thick as your arm. I repurposed the dock's SOS broadcast system to beam out whatever you put in it. Anyone with a terminal, a slate, or a server on the eye will see it. That means Havenage, Yatagan, the hub, everyone. No matter what, Hardin isn't snaking away this time. He grins. I've got a bit more to do here, but the moment you slop that first worm, I'll make my move. He gives you a parting smile and turns back to the terminal. The nerves hit as you make your way out of the service dock. Time to prepare yourself. Oh man. The nerves are hitting me because I'm thinking like, well, what if I do it now? I've got good dice, but I'm kind of low. Like, I don't have any scrap and I'm a little low on cash. It might be a good idea to set up enough that I would be able to have one more spot of stabilizer if I need it, or at least some scrap to be able to repair my condition. Oh, hey, okay, so this is officially the DLC. Welcome to Episode Flux. Episode Flux is the first of 3 episodic updates to Citizen Sleeper, telling the story of the refugee flotilla that has arrived at the Eye. All 3 episodes, Flux, Refuge, and Purge, are now available. Completing the Supply Girls action will begin the episode, but be aware that this is intended for late game play. Okay, I won't do it yet then. Alright, let's see. Okay, so I could just gather scrap here, actually. And get that, like, use the scrap to prepare me and get my, like, stabilization and condition up. When and where do I slot that first worm? I thought I did it over here, like in the wastes. But it seems like that's not actually where I put it. Oh, unless I do it on the digital side. Yes. Oh, do we launch it? I think we do. I think we go for it. Because the thing I really want to do is get my tracker out of my head as quickly as possible. So I think doing that will be key. Let's roll. Godspeed, Fang. As you slot the worm, a thread jumps up out of the facility. It unspools in front of you, releasing its data like ink in water. Sleeper. Fang's voice crackles through, moving in. Nodes, then ports. A whir of interference. Slot the worms. Timer starts now. Stay safe. The thread dissipates. You are on your own now. Okay, luckily I've got the dice I need for this. At least this first one. This node is linked to the outer security layer. Fang must be struggling to get through. Time to open them up. Alright, let's get deeper. Oh, come on. Oh, I don't have the dice for them. Dang. Okay, so I have to come back at a different day. At least that forces me right now to use this to, like, I can get some scrap to repair my condition, make sure I'm not going too low on dice, because having high dice will be really important for this one. And I can work the commune. To get some food. Then, you know what? I'll even do one day of trying to get some spores. For Rika. Excellent. How many spores does she need? She needs 3? Yeah. Rika is grateful for the contribution. Sleeper, you warm my heart with each delivery. Thank you. Sometimes I accidentally slip into a slight, like, twang with my voice in my reading for characters. And that's kind of how I end up speaking myself, because there's definitely, I have been mistaken for being Southern before because of the way that I speak. From people from the South, which I thought was very funny. Okay. I don't think I sound like that, but people have asked. All right, get a little bit more money. And then I'll just keep up my condition repair as best as I can with the scrap. I don't know why, but for some reason, specifically dragging scrap into this, like, action, I feel like often, my mouse, like, cuts off in weird ways. All right. Then let's end cycle. Let's see what we can get up to with Fang tomorrow. Okay. I know. I think that's actually everything that we need. So let's get back up. I have to imagine Fang, you know, like, staying overnight, like, basically in like corporate espionage mode, like deep in these like scrap yards trying to collect data and just having to like find a spot to try and sleep, but you probably can't because you know that there's people like looking for you. Have to stay on your guard the whole time. Okay, we'll use this too. And this 3. Oh, that was just one extra layer, so there's still a third layer I need to parse through. Layer X unlocked. Oh, and of course layer X has 3 that I need to get through. Okay, we have a 4 that we can use there. Let's just look at what everything needs. 4, a 5, and a 5 or a 6. Okay, so we won't be able to do everything. But I can use this 4. And then I'll need a 5 or a 6 coming up. So that's scary. I'm gonna get rid of the one that needs a 6, I think. Because a 3 or a 5, I feel like I'm more likely to roll than a 5 or a 6. I mean, I know I'm equally kind of likely, actually, to roll though. That's how odds work, but I don't want to spend a 6 as much. Okay. So we'll need to come back here. And we can spend a... Even if we get a negative result, you still get +2 energy here, which is very nice. Got a negative outcome, but still actually got +2 energy and then +1 from our bonus. Okay. So, spend the night here in the Haifa dorm. And we gotta get Fang out. It's just a 3 or a 5, please. That's a 5. Let's bring our boy home. The final Ripper Worm. This final layer controls surveillance. With this down, Fang should be able to control the facility's cameras. Alright. A thread from the facility cuts through the clouds like a hairline crack of light. That's it. The final layer of security broken. Somewhere buried in the depths of the station, Fang is in control. He is slicing into the camera control circuits and piping out the result. The thread flickers and unravels into an image, a scene. 2 figures in a room, one sat, the other pacing. The pacing figure resolves into Hardin, the unmistakable superior posture, the shock of great hair. The second figure's features don't seem to resolve, they are vague, unformed. A problem with the data, perhaps? You look closer. Then you see it. The figure is a proxy. Perhaps you should have expected it from Conway, a corporation whose very existence is owed to automation. The proxy is a machine designed to be piloted by remote connection, someone elsewhere in the system puppeteering it with their own body, speaking so it may speak. The proxy sits impassively, or the Conway executive that is piloting them does, from the distant safety of some ship or orbital colony, perhaps. We can't move forward, we can move forward, there is no doubt, Hardin is saying. The reclamation teams are almost ready, and after that I will make the declaration. Nothing has to change. The proxy leans forward, its movements stilted, uneven, as if the body was being refracted through water. But things must change, Hardin. We need further assurances. I have been informed of a branch in one of the closed networks in Low End. You have been careless. Hardin waves the accusation away. We have been stretched. A breach was detected, yes, but no data of value was lost. Our board is concerned, Hardin. A drop in our value would be unwelcome at this time. The proxy leans back, its posture dominant. If the reclamation of AE1 is contested, then we could be drawn into a compromising legal position. Hardin approaches the proxy. There will be no contest, not from Solheim, who cannot muster a defense. Not from Havenage, who will fall into line below me. He crouches in front of a seated figure, eye to eye, and the people of this station? Refugees, gangs, spacers, all either opportunists or degenerates. Havenage is no longer strong, no longer united. No one believes in Erlin's vision, nor has the strength to enact it. I sat across from him at the negotiating table. He was forceful, eager, weakened by his ideological convictions perhaps, but a great man nonetheless. This place no longer deserves to bear his name. The eye is crippled, it cannot survive. It is a ruin filled with squatters and outlaws. They will be lucky if it still spins in 100 cycles. Hardin stands. You will move forward with the reclamation, because otherwise you will lose your advantage in the system. Without your advantage, you will lose claims on the remaining palladium. Without the palladium, your factories will go dark. He pauses. Do I need to continue? One moment, comes the response from the proxy, and its head drops to its chest. Hardin steps back and paces once more, awaiting the discussion taking place elsewhere in the system. You watch Hardin as he paces and considers his future. What goes on within a mind like that, in a mind of man who would burn all of those around him for a path to some imagined golden end? The proxy lifts its head. We are happy to proceed. We will legally claim the station formerly known as Solheim AE1 as salvage within 6 cycles. Havenage is to assist with the transport of the illegal residents to Conway housing and labor facilities. Oh, dip. They're straight up gonna force everyone off of the station? Ooh. Turns out Fang was extremely right to be worried. Justice for Fang. I've been doubting him sometimes, but he was the rightest anyone has been in this game so far. The proxy judders to its feet. Conway will also claim 70% of the raw output of the reclamation process after losses have been accounted for. Hardin nods. I accept. The proxy reaches out to shake his hand like a marionette, and then the recording loops. You watch it play out a second time, gripped by a horrified fascination. There is a bluntness to the conversation, to its blatant disregard for humans as anything other than objects. Things to be moved, to be used, to be fed into structures, crushed and losses accounted for in the cells of tables, the margins of ledgers. You realize now that you are no different than anyone else on this station in the eye of the people in that room and those like them. Each body here can be recast as a piece of property, a tool, an expense, an acceptable loss. In one moment, they can be named a citizen, celebrated, protected, and in another, the very idea of citizenship can be used against them. That is what it means to live in a proximity to a system like this. No longer. Not while the eye spins. You gather the recording, pack it into a polygon of purest light. Then you drift down into the service dock like a falling leaf and find the relay. It only takes a second to place that polygon of data, that recording, into a relay system Fang prepared, and then you watch as it bursts out, a web of threads heading into the black to every networked device on the eye. Let them see what power makes of a man. Ooh. Spicy. Things are heating up in that, in this storyline with Fang and, the corporation. Okay, well, we've gotten the data on Solheim and on Hardin, and, he is going to, that shithead's gonna eat shit. Which I guess shitheads kind of are always eating shit because their head is presumably made out of shit. Sorry for all the cussing. Foul language. Poop heads. Eating poop. It's nothing the game doesn't say. So if you're watching this game, I assume you're comfortable with some mild cursing. Let's see. Okay, so now, oh, hey, let's go get some more mushrooms. We can get mushrooms both for, we can get spores for Rika, and we can finally start getting the Griol. I always called it Griol, I'm now realizing. Girol? I'm actually going to look this up real quick because I want to know if it's a real thing. Girol mushroom. It's a real thing. Okay, yeah, these are real types of mushrooms, turns out. Oh, they look crazy. They look like little trumpet horns. Okay, Girol pronunciation. Just get a little YouTube video real quick. Tell me how to do it. Girol. Okay, Girol. I was pronouncing it pretty much correctly. Yeah, Girol. I used to have a friend named Jarrell. So it's kind of similar. I'll just think of them as friend mushrooms. Let's get some of those for Emphas, our new friend. Only one? Oh, that's gonna take a lot of foraging, huh? All right. So let's give Rika the last of the spores. And see what she has to say. Sleeper. Rika looks at you. Rico. I've been saying Rika. Oops. Greets you without so much as looking up from her work. I have some of yours here. Come see. She beckons you over to a heavyweight looking console, wired to a series of specimen jars, some of which contain your spores. What does it say? The spores you have here are a real cocktail, a selection of types within the grove, but I've been able to isolate a few. She taps one of the specimen jars. Here we have Tricholoma matsutake. Rico breezes through the Latin and Japanese pronunciations as if it was nothing. Species Solheim, somewhat modified for use on the station. She brings up a panel on her console showing a chemical composition, all gradiented bars and obtuse acronyms. This is the composition of a Solheim modified Matsutake spores. Am I supposed to understand that? Not entirely, no. But I think you'll understand this. Rico brings up another panel, identical in layout but with wildly different colors and numbers. You see, this is what your Matsutake spores look like. I don't understand. Look at the composition. They're totally different. Rico glances at the specimen jar as if it might have something to add. They're fundamentally the same spores, but they carry different chemicals, different signals. She leans back and sighs. Solheim may have introduced their own tweaked version in the beginning, but the groves have, and still are, affecting them. Affecting them how? It's hard to tell without a sample of fully grown mushrooms. She meets your eye. And herein lies our problem. She moves to another desk where two trays sit side by side. The first contains nothing but plant mulch. The second you smell before you even look at it, the pungent aroma of the fruiting matsutake, like rotting, sodden overalls, laced with an edge of spice. Ugh. Pungent aroma of the fruiting matsutake, like rotting, sodden overalls? It's poetic. The matsutake here are grown from Solheim stalks, pulled from the spore vaults in this complex, she winks. They are delicious, by the way. She sets them aside. The empty tray is germinated with the spores you collected. No activity, no germination, nothing. But the groves are full. Yes, they are. Rico looks at you directly, and you suddenly realize how much she is enjoying this. So here's our puzzle, Sleeper. Spores from the groves won't grow in the lab. It's making her sound like a little like fairy tale like trickster, like presenting a riddle. But gathering fruiting bodies from the groves is too unpredictable. We need to grow a fruiting body from some of these spores so we can track it, understand it. In short, I need you to become my mushroom farmer. I haven't actually already started. I've seen the place where I would start, but I have not done the work to start the mushroom farming. Look, I'm guessing, an educated guess this is, that the closer these spores are to the groves, the better they will germinate. There's an old dome, the aviary, which sits directly above the grove's vent cores. With a bit of work, it'd make the perfect place to germinate the spores. Rico glances around the meager lab with its improvised equipment. Look, I'd do it myself, but... She waves at the crutch. My farming days are over. Bring me whatever grows, not just Matsutake. There's more than a couple of variants in there, so I'll need plenty of samples. She plucks a Matsutake cap from the tray. These are little things in the reflections of their condition, their smell, their taste, their chemistry. It all derives from the conditions of their growth. She smells the cap. Enough of these and we'll have a picture of what is happening here, of the ways in which this biosphere is modifying itself or being modified, whichever the case may be. Rico pops the Matsutake cap into her mouth, taking you by surprise. And don't worry, Sleeper, she says while softly chewing. If this turns out to be a dead end, I'll make sure that not a single mushroom will go to waste. Okay, well, unfortunately, I only have 2 ones, which is not exactly the most, like, powerful thing to begin mushroom farming with. I also have the Greenway Gate cipher. I wonder, we gotta open this up, I guess, right? I'm a little nervous, but Navigator gave this to us to see what's happening on this side of the station. Let's take a look. The Greenway roils beneath you like a silt-choked river. If what Navigator said was true, then no one has accessed these networks since the collapse. The hunter and killer protocols have never set foot here, never cleared out the intelligences and systems. So why then, you wonder, does it look so dark? Is it just the pit rot has set in, the entropy of systems reducing everything to shadows and light? You watch as the slotted cipher fizzles in the one open, distorted gateway of this entire rim of the station. It flickers and winks out, and then you are falling into the flow. A river of swirling darkness, you are spun by it, twisted by it, lost in it. It's not that the Greenway was hiding in the darkness. It is made of darkness. It is filled by this substance, this process, this swarm. Now you are among it. You notice that a swarm is exactly what it is. 1 billion individuals moving in a flow. There is no network map here, no nodes and threads, only a storm of interchangeable points, shifting configuration endlessly. Then you see them, a figure turned away, the only bright spot in the dark river. You push closer through the storm. Oh, Gardener, the ingrown farm administrator. They are facing away, at least you think so. They are fractured, so overgrown that it is hard to tell. Even from this distance, you can see their flesh is moving, flowing. You watch silent as they stoop and reach down. In their hand is a dark shape, and with twisted fingers they press it down into the loam of data beneath them, pushing it through this trembling soil. Then they move away, go a little further, and repeat the process, as if they are sowing a field. You push forward, but somehow, despite their slow and deliberate speed, they move faster and they quickly fade into the storm. You reach the point where they planted the object and look down. There it is, a glassy, shifting polygon with something inside. You reach down and pick it up. It is cold, but it thrums with energy. You look towards the path of the figure. They're long gone. When you blink out of the cloud back to the leaves and the dappled light of the greenway, you see a seed in your hand. Wait. We'll need the gardener's seed? So we were literally just talking to Rico about what could possibly be, how could these mushrooms be changing on their own? Is the gardener, like, here in the digital side of this, like, changing and gardening the mushrooms and spores and everything that's growing here from the other side, essentially, from the digital side of the eye? That's very cool, especially considering we were just talking about, like, nature and technology and how it relates with, like, Hunter, like, operating on instinct and all of these different things, about how Neovend didn't really have a physical form, and how yeah, I literally was just talking about, like, the comparison of the nature of the natural and the digital within this game, and here we have literally a digital gardener. I genuinely, I know I've played this game before, so people are like, oh, but you knew that was coming. I genuinely had completely forgotten about the gardener. You wonder, if you think I knew about that, you vastly overestimate my memory, because it's not good. Which honestly makes moments like this very fun. All right, let's see if we have a couple of spots to use these ones. Oh, right, I can't do that twice. Little bit of data for a little bit of money. Oh, the Maywick thing is like half full, or not half, it's a quarter full, but still, because I feel like whenever Fang gets back, he's still not gonna be ready exactly to deal with my tracker, and I would really like him to be. Okay, and then we'll need to wait quite a few cycles for the Helion Crossing ship to return, so I can buy more ship mined parts for Ankita. Oh, we've got 2 upgrade points. Oh yeah, I'm finally gonna get all my cryo actions are discounted by 20%, so now I can buy everything cheaper. Oh, that's fantastic. I almost have enough of the good stuff for Emphis. Still need 2 more shrooms. I do like having a home on either side so that I can end the cycle and continue. Oh, I should have found some scrap so I could repair. I'm gonna be down to 4 dice now. Hey, that was pretty good 4 dice though. Oh, but yeah, I'm either gonna need to make some money for stabilizer or get some scrap. I wonder, we haven't seen Fang since, we just gotta wait for Fang to return is what it says. I wonder how long he'll be out. All right, the next thing I have to do is work on the aviary. All right, let's get to work on that. I'm very curious to see where these mushrooms will go. What's the action that I can take that potentially gives me energy? That's on an engage action. Okay. I think I could really... I need some scrap to improve my condition a bit more. By using a 6 on just getting some scrap? No, I'm going to use it to clear the aviary a little bit more. Then I can use this 2. Maybe actually I can use this 2 for more hacking. Not that one. No, if all of them are just Yatagan, I think it's Haven Age. Takes 2s. Yeah, here we go. Oh, now I don't have to worry about Hunter or any of that anymore. That's really nice. And I can go sell this data. And then with that, I guess, honestly, it probably would have been a better use of time and money to just spend that 2 dice working at the commune. But I gotta have my shrooms. Can't min-max everything. As much as that is my impulse in most of these games. Especially, man, games like Stardew. If I don't have like my exact peak day in Stardew, I'm like, why am I even playing? Okay. Hey, that's more decent dice rolls. I am gonna need to figure out a new way to get scrap sometime soon. I can potentially get scrap on engineering rolls, but I don't think we have engineering rolls coming up anytime soon. I do want to get some shrooms for Emphas. Oh, I just got plus energy on that. I didn't actually get the Griol caps or Girol caps. Okay, so you need a positive outcome for that. That's good to know. That's kind of tough, though. It's really hard to get that many mushrooms. Oh, great. Hey, I got the positive outcome, and now we've got a little mushroom farm. And I have exactly the amount of spores I need. Fantastic. That's very funny that you could... Oh, no. Okay, I do need more spores, actually. Very funny to me that you could potentially have already done the mushroom farming section before you did anything with Rico and just be like, oh, yeah, no, I'm actually fully a mushroom farmer already. All right, now we've got a whole mushroom farm set up. That'll take, okay, 4 cycles for them to kind of like get grown. Oh man, that clock is really filling up. I really need Fang to arrive because... Whew. Oh, complete active scenes. I didn't realize I had an active scene. That's weird. It says complete active scenes. Is there someone I need to talk to? Oh, speak to Fang. Hey. Speak of the pal and he shall appear. I would say the devil, but like, let's face it, Fang's been extremely right about everything. Fang grins at you as the bay doors slide open. Above, in the rest of the building, people are busy, frightened. They speak in hushed tones and organize endless meetings after endless meeting. Haven Age have avoided a full-blown crisis for now, but change is coming. Fang is in good spirits and bundles you inside before you even have a chance to greet him. That was the slickest operation this station has seen. He hugs you firmly. You made my job easy. He shakes you by the shoulders. I'm so proud. And, he smiles, I gotta watch through the cameras as Haven Age security that weren't in on it assaulted the station. Fang smiled. One of them straight up just whacked Hardin with a pistol. It was beautiful. They have him? He's being held, yeah. He looks around. I think the idea is to use him as leverage with Conway to get them to back off. Maybe they'll exile him when they're done, or hand him over to some core authority, Fang shrugs. Now I know he won't be an issue. I'm gonna be focusing on systems for a bit. He shakes his head, seeing as that's my actual job. Hey, Fang, I know you're saying that you're gonna be focusing on systems. How about focusing on my systems? The tracker in my brain that is what you first approached me about? He points to the ceiling. The people upstairs weren't so happy, though. They've been fielding questions about the state of the eye right and left since the recordings got out. People are scared. I'm not surprised. Yeah, this whole thing hasn't won me many fans in the administration, but I think in the end they'll agree that outing Harding was worth it, whatever the methods. He touches a stack of hardware. The eye is old. It was never meant to run like this. The master control points that Erlin and Haven Age installed, they keep it spinning from the rim. That isn't ideal. But if you're asking me if the eye will stop spinning next cycle, no. He smiles. And me and a ton of other skilled people are working to stop it happening the cycle after that. Hardin's problem was that he didn't believe in people. He believed in systems and their ability to shape the world around them. Fang squeezes your shoulder. But as far as I'm concerned, people should be the one running the systems, not the other way around. Hell yeah, Fang. Anyway, Fang raps on the side of his terminal. I know you didn't come here for a lecture. Yeah, Fang, my tracker. Listen, there's this Maywick guy, he's after me. I haven't forgotten. He produces the thumbnail drive. I managed to finish that code solution I showed you. It's a modified Ripper worm, one that made to deactivate that tracker of yours. But in the time since I got back, I added something extra. The tracker of yours doesn't just show SNARP where you are. It transmits data about the state of your body, your current condition. My worm won't just deactivate it. It'll edit that data to tell SNARP your body is irreparably damaged. DNR, do not retrieve. He grins widely. Pretty smart, right? That's perfect. Just slot it in already. You take the drive and hold it in your hand. Then you close your eyes and open your access ports. Take down your defenses. The worm immediately enters your closed network. It rips through it, taking things with it as it goes. The moment they are gone, you just forget they were ever there. They just blink out of existence. A second later, and it's done. You open your eyes. How do you feel? Asks Fang, a little nervously. The same. Give it time. He pats you on the shoulder and looks at his terminal screen. The log tells me it worked, so feel it or not, you are free. Fang lets the word free hang in the air a little before he continues. Seems like it might be finally time for a celebration. Fang wraps his arms around you. Jenna still owes us for those drinks. He laughs, and you join him. And later, when you leave, you feel deeply thankful for having such a friend. As you walk away from the building, you look up at the wide curve of the eye, up at the hub and the other rim beyond it. The whole thing twinkles with lights, and it seems impossible to see it as anything other than breathtakingly beautiful. It feels, in that moment, like something eternal. That doesn't mean it can or even should last forever, or that it'll never change, fade, or decay. It simply means that in this moment, this place has a future, and it is one that you know deeply and truly is worth protecting. Ooh, I just got chills. Hey, we have disabled our tracker. We're free. Maywick, that clock with Maywick? Gone. Clock is gone. We're free, baby. Oh, that's amazing. Ethan, we don't have to worry about. Oh, actually, we have a scene now with Ethan. That's fascinating. I wonder what he'll have to say about all of this. The compressor is almost empty when you enter. A couple of scattered patrons in the booth and a lone bartender. The bartender recognizes you immediately and when you arrive and nods, and you return the greeting. You know already that you won't find Ethan here, but you had to be sure. With your tracker reporting you dead, he wouldn't have stuck around. You look at the empty stool, his empty stool, and you smile. You can imagine him on it with his slate, when his slate chirps, letting him know that the target he was tracking is dead. You can imagine the screaming and the swearing too. Is that all you were to Ethan? Another target? Or was there something else going on? Seems like a foolish question to ask now when he's fled the station, but it bothers you anyway. You take one last look and walk out. You doubt you will ever come back to this place or the memories it holds. You walk back into the lights of the bright market and allow yourself a smile. So this is what Fang meant when he said you were free. You could get used to this. Amazing. And we got more upgrade points. So we don't have to deal with Ethan anymore. That's fantastic. I almost wonder, there's part of me, them describing, saying that like part of you still wonders about like, was something more there happening with Ethan? I do have this like curiosity of what it would be like to see like a version of that storyline where you do help work off Ethan's debt and like confront like Maywick together. That would be, but Ethan is just so hateable. They make you absolutely loathe him, especially with the way that I played those intro scenes where he's just like legitimately beating you with the butt of a pistol and then like attempts to shoot you in one scene where you're just like, why would I ever help this person? I am curious what that side of the story looks like though. Maybe one day I'll do a little YouTube search to watch that side. Okay. I wish we could like chat with Dragos now and be like, hey, people aren't coming after me anymore. It's fine. We can work together again. Oh, I'm gonna need some medicine soon is the thing. Or quite a bit of scrap. Scrap would be ideal, considering I think I need... Yeah, I think scrap would be ideal because I need to save that money for more ship mine parts for Ankita. Oh, but it's tough. If this goes wrong, I can get minus condition. But you know what? I got some scrap. I'm not going to push it too hard, though. The mushrooms are growing. Oh, man, and I still need one more mushroom for Emphas. Yeah, I think I need to earn some money, but I rolled pretty low. This is a little rough. All right, let's hack to get some money. So that'll at least get me to a spot where, if I need to, I'll be able to afford some more stabilizer. Even if it also means I might not be able to afford the ship mined parts. There's always money in the data mines. Yeah, that will get me enough money for some stabilizer, which I think I need pretty bad right now. Oh, and that's actually a little cheaper now too because of the 20% off. 64. Okay, maybe we still will be able to get enough money down the line to get the ship mines. So we still got 4 cycles to make up that money. And then there's still so much to do. There's all this stuff with Rika. There's all the storyline with Rabin and is it Rabin and Sabine? Really? That can't be right. I must be getting Rabin's name wrong. I remember it's Sabine for sure, but that can't be right. I think it is Rabin and Sabine. That's very funny. There are some rolls. Now that's some rolls for mushrooms. Mushroom rolls actually I bet would taste pretty good. As long as it was seasoned correctly. Deep in a vent core you find the amber caps of the Girolles. In this micro ecosystem they are protected from other stranger growths. Okay, we've got the 3 that we need for Emphas. Let's go chat with the mushroom man. Give him the rare mushrooms we've been talking about giving him for over a month now. Emphas eagerly takes the bright yellow Girolle caps. Seems pleased with them. Oh, that's going to take a little time. Emphas is working on gathering the ingredients and preparing the mushrooms. He doesn't like to rush these things. It'll take 3 days. I was kind of hoping to get some food now. I don't know if you've noticed, but I'm a little hungry at the minute. Well, when you're hungry, you can always work for the commune. Let's do energy. And then let's see, what else do we have right now? We need to find a nurturing grow bed for this seed. for the gardener's seed. We need to fix the ambergris. We're waiting on that. Flotilla aid, get to know Emphas, grow mushrooms. Help Bliss. Okay, yeah, that's a lot of money for that one, but could potentially do it. I think while we're waiting for the mushrooms, we might need, let's go work for Rabia or work on winning a side reel, spot. All right, let's collect some tithes. You know, harsh air quotes there. Let's shake down some poor struggling shop owners. One mechanic tithes a new filtration system for their block's atrium, and after you help install it, he offers you some of the remaining scrap. Oh. I mean, I guess honestly, tithes in that way of like, hey, what are some spare parts you have in order to like actually help the block is not all that different from the Haifa commune in that respect. I took a little ding to my condition though. Ooh, but I gained some energy on that one. Among the craftsmen and merchants you visit, a chef who insists on feeding you and the other enforcers a rich stew of his own recipe. Okay, you know, they're feeding us. This is nice. Okay, yeah, we're oh. As you say your goodbyes to the other enforcers. What a weird thing to say. Just like we're all like buddies. Like, it's just, what does that even mean, really? And walk back through the low end. A chirruping catches your attention. In a quiet corridor away from the main thoroughfares, someone has stuck a small recorder to the wall of suit sealant tape. Written across the fluorescent tape is one word: sleeper. You peel it away from the wall, and as you do, it triggers some kind of improvised trip switch. Sleeper, Sabine's voice crackles through. I have seen you with Yatagan members. Are they holding you captive now, too? A high whine. I'm sorry if I have dragged you into this. Do not trust them. Something is happening within the gang, some kind of power struggle. You cover the speaker a little, their voice too loud in the quiet corridor. I will come soon. Thanks to your efforts, I have located most of their properties. At the right time. A pause. I will see you soon. Don't give up. Remember our deal. The recording cuts out. You stare at the recorder, processing what you just heard. Hearing Sabine's voice again opens up something inside of you. A Essen ARP employee. Do they know what I know? You struggle with a mix of concern and distrust. You throw the recorder into a nearby waste chute as you leave. As you leave the corridor, still unsure who to trust, and head quietly out of the low end. Yeah, I don't know about Sabine. But I also don't know. Oh, it's Rabia. It's not Rabine. Yeah, having it be Sabine and Rabine would be ridiculous. Rabia makes a lot more sense. Getting close to that though. I might make that my next focus. See what's going on there. At least while I'm waiting for the mushrooms to grow. All right, that's a nice spread. Emphasis still planning our little mushroom meal. We got some more scrap components. We got filling up the insider clock. Do that a couple more times. It's tough when we only fill it up one with each completion of this clock. But hey, it filled us up on energy, so that's nice. And we've got quite a few scrap components out of that. That's good to know that that gives scrap components, even though I feel like we're about to be out of that action. I'm just checking on the greenway now, seeing what's going on with the mushrooms. One more day. Okay, what can I do with 2 2s? Probably do some Haven Age hacking, right? Oh, if there might not be any to do. Never mind. There's always hacking to be done. Oops, not what I meant to click on. No, why am I going there? I want... This is what I want, the Tambor Tea House. I should read before I click, probably. Think before you leap, read before you click. Important life advice for the 21st century. Honestly, read before you click, I feel like is the 21st century equivalent of think before you leap. Or it's look before you leap. And think before you speak. I don't do any of those clearly. All right. We're on last day before mushrooms are ready. So let's go and spend the night over in the Haifa dorms. And see what kind of mushrooms we get in our new beautiful garden that we've built. 222. Oh, so now we have to harvest them? Okay. 2 random rare mushrooms. Interesting. But always +1 Girol caps. I wish I'd known that before when I was looking for the Girol caps. Ooh, but we got Matsutake. We didn't get Girol, though. Interesting. I think I can get Girol for sure from the mushroom, from foraging here, though. And I need one of those to complete this portion, so. Okay, that... Oh, wow, I need a lot of mushrooms, huh? The rich and pungent Matsutake caps are... Oh, you hand over the caps and Rico looks pleased. My amateur mycologist. Thank you. Okay, but each one of those does give 3, and I can potentially harvest a fair bit more if I have better dice for the day. I need to make some more money. Because there's about to be the option for some shipmind stuff. The shipmind salesmen are coming to town. And I want enough money to buy all of them. I guess with this other 2, I'll just work the communes, get some food. And then I can use these scrap components to repair myself a little so I'm not wearing down without needing to spend a bunch of money on stabilizer. That's really nice. Now I'm going to end the cycle. And that's more mushroom rolls right there. And we'll see what's going on with the Rika stuff. Ooh, club head caps. Strange, unidentified, club-shaped fruiting bodies. Interesting. Oh, drive completed. What was the drive I completed? Just harvesting mushrooms? I guess. Must have been. I wonder what I can use these other mushrooms for, the club head caps. I wonder if Enfys would like those too. Alright, Rico. Tell me what the shrooms say. Rico meets you at the entrance at the lab, leaning on her crutch with a glint in her eye. Walk with me, Sleeper. I'd like to tell you a story. She makes her way down the corridor that leads back up towards the main commune building. When the people first crossed what we call Founder's Gap into the Greenway, they did so against the wishes of Andre Erlin. At the time, Erlin was trying to stabilize the Union and establish control over the Eye in the wake of Solheim's collapse. It was chaos, competing factions, failing systems, so many dead and injured from the riots. That was his priority. I'm gonna listen. You both crossed through a glass-roofed tunnel, the greenway outside crowded with vines and branches dappled in the light. Erlin had written the greenway off, cut off from the rest of the station and linked to a broken spoke. He claimed it was only a matter of time before everything here would die. He refused to let anyone abandon their duty to the Union and cross. They were traitors to the cause, or as good as. Rico continues, making her slow but steady way into her inner gardens of the commune. There weren't many of us, but we believed that what was here was worth saving. We had to keep our plans secret until we crossed, and some of us left people behind. She pauses to catch her breath, her voice crackling. It is difficult to know if it's from effort or emotion. What we found here was a disaster. Nothing like what you see here. Half of the greenway was leaking oxygen into space, the plants flash frozen. The other half was a swamp of mulch, its decaying matter clogging every system. We worked hard. We lost good people. We cleaned up and closed up, but it was never going to be enough. After many, many cycles, we all knew this place was doomed, but we kept working. Talking less and less because we couldn't face it. We all developed a death wish. If Greenway was going to die, so would we. What changed? Everything. Rico smiles. We crossed some invisible boundary, tipped some biological scale, and the Greenway started to recover. Plants flowered, crops sprouted, and for the first time we reaped the fruits of our labor. Rico smiles, looking up at you. We thought it was us, that we managed to do just enough to end the cycle of decay. I thought we had saved the Greenway. Until today. You pass through the grow beds of the commune, rich with the hustle and bustle of Haifa members planting and harvesting. For a while, Rico is quiet, and you both simply observe the hypnotic movements of the work crews. The eager chatter washing over you like a wave. Rico smiles to herself. I should have known, of course, that Our arrogance was unfounded, but we needed something to believe in. We needed a myth to bring more people across the gap. You both move into a similar corridor, or a smaller corridor, Rico following some direction unknown to you. What you have shown me is that, back then, the Greenway saved us, not the other way around. Tell me, have you ever consumed one of the Matsutake or Jiro caps that have been growing? No, not yet. I gave them some to some chef, but he hasn't made them for me yet. They can be difficult to prepare without proper equipment, she muses, but you should try them. After all, they were designed for you. Rico has a mischievous look. At first I thought it was the location that they were grown in that made the mushrooms from the aviary, from the labs, or from the grove different to each other, but what I've come to understand is that it is the person growing them. The Matsutake and Jiro caps that you brought me are totally unique, containing compounds never usually found in similar specimens in my possession. Many of these compounds aren't even digestible for humans, but for a sleeper like you. Rico smiles as she leads you into the internal garden of the commune, where the Haifa members have planted species from all over the Greenway. Back when the tide turned, when the Greenway started to recover, we all felt something, a response. It was as if this place was not just alive as a forest is alive, but alive in other ways, communicative, responsive. We shrugged it off at the time, but now I understand why. Rico stops and turns to you. This place is responding to us, adapting itself to us. It is growing, brooding bodies for you, for me. It is adapting, changing. It is, in short, displaying all the signs of sentience. I wish right now I could have a moment to say, like, yeah, I saw the gardener. I've got this seed, actually, that I would love to show you. The Greenway is sentient? Perhaps not the Greenway, but the ecosystem itself. Or something within it. Rico sits on a bench within the peaceful gardens and gestures for you to join her. When you have been growing the Jirols and the Matsutakes in the aviary, those species so familiar to the Greenway, have you discovered any others? Yeah, one. What's it called? The clubhead caps. Yes. Rico can barely contain her excitement. I should like to see those. Please bring me some next time you are here. You look around the garden, amazed at the sense of peace within it. Rico interrupts that silence. There is a species of mushrooms that I haven't seen in years. It is dark, short, shaped like a club. Like a club head? We first found those in the early days when we were working to save this place. It was around the time that we started to lose our first members. They were succumbing to some infection, some mold growing deep in the dark mulch that drowned this place. At the point we thought we were lost, then these mushrooms emerged from the same black mold. We tested them and saw that they contained the same compounds that counteracted the mold. They contained an antidote. Of course, as a botanist, I saw this as part of the natural process of the ecosystem, even in the timescales seemed absurdly short. But what I'm wondering is if that antidote was a gift. Rico meets your eyes. Perhaps if you are patient, you'll receive your gift too, sleeper. You both sit for a while, Rico seemingly done telling stories for today. You watch the light playing off the leaves and plants around you and wonder what forces could be at play in this place. And after a while, you stand to leave with a quiet nod to Rico, leaving her to her memories. They definitely expect you to not have met the gardener at that point. That's very funny. I felt, considering you could have already had the mushroom farm going and they accounted for that, but the fact that you can't be like, oh yeah, no, there's for sure a sentient, like, being here and he gave me a seed, especially because I'm like looking for a place to plant the seed. Um. Okay, so I'll have to plant more spores in the future. But I wonder... Okay, and I will need to do that because I'll need at least one more club head for Rico to analyze. All right, let's see. Got a 1, a 2, and a 3. Those are hacking dice. I'm getting close to calling it for today. I just really want to see the bit with Emphas, if I'm honest. I think that's still 1 or 2 cycles out. So I want to do everything I can to see that scene with Emphas. I think that would be very nice. And then after that, we'll call it for today. And I think, honestly, this should all be, this should be enough money to get the last of the ship mine stuff that I want for Ankita. Oh yeah, I actually already have enough. Okay, but I'm not going to do that yet, because I feel like whatever is going to happen with Ankita is going to launch off a whole other large mission. Oh, Emphas is actually ready today. More time has passed than I thought it was. Let's see, I've got one more snooze for the ad, but I think I'm just going to let, because there's going to be an ad in like 4 minutes. I'm debating if I should snooze. I'll snooze it one more time and we'll get through the Emphas bit and try and wrap it up before the ad hits. We'll see. I don't want to pressure it too much for time, but... Emphas is preparing the Girol caps. He has had to heavily adapt this recipe, he says, but the smell is already incredible. It emanates from a strange purplish white bulb you have never seen before, and he is slicing it finely. Purplish white bulb, is that a turnip? Are we having a turnip? He brushes and slices the mushrooms and then places them in the wok with the sliced bulb and the oil. They caramelize there. In that well-worn crucible, he adds liquids, transparent and opaque, and then turns down the heat. A sprinkle of leaves is the final touch. We have a moment, Sleeper, he smiles. Do you have a story? Something in the scent of the food gives you a feeling of nostalgia, something distant and melancholic. It seems like the story should maybe match that feeling somehow, and maybe you'll feel better for telling it. Recall your oldest memories. You start by explaining that when you are emulated from a person, many of your memories are left behind. Perhaps it's an intentional part of the process, a way of keeping sleepers ignorant and malleable, or perhaps it is a side effect of the imperfect emulation. You admit that you don't really know, but what you do is that some memories survive, and that on occasion they come back to you, like shadows passing overhead. You detail one recurring memory, which, despite returning to you with enough regularity for you to think it familiar, always fades as quickly as it arrives. You struggle to explain the feeling of being whole for a moment that comes with this memory, and then how that wholeness slips away to leave you feeling like you have forgotten something important, but you just can't bring it to mind. Emphas nods throughout, cooking as he does with deft and skillful movements. You start to trail off, and when you realize you can't find the words to explain how the memories you do have feel like both yours and someone else's at the same time, and how that always fills you with a certain sadness. The sadness of remaining forever unknown, even to yourself. Emphas finishes cooking and meets your eye. I'm sorry, Sleeper. for your troubles. He puts the wok to one side. I appreciate you sharing with me. He smiles. I hope it lightens you a little. He passes you a bowl and heaps the girolles into it, their yellow color mixing with the pale sauce in whirls and blooms. Eat. The dish is delicious, filling. It warms you as you eat it in a way you weren't sure your body could be warmed. It is a small mercy you think that SNR left you this pleasure. Many of the features frames are there to simulate human experience. You know that much. Emulated minds cannot be rewired, so their need for embodied experience must be met. That is why you breathe, even when you do not need air. Without that simulation, the sensation of drowning would be unbearable. Food serves another purpose. Your frame is able to metabolize it, to produce energy from that raw material. Vitamins and minerals are excess, of course. Your frame only needs raw power. So much is wasted, and yet, while you eat this food and you feel that warmth, nothing feels wasted. It all means something to you. As you finish, Emphas takes the bowl, the last of his cleaning. He smiles at you, and neither of you feel the need to say anything more. Instead, you simply exchange nods and walk your separate ways back into the bright market. Somehow changed. We did it. We got Emphas his mushrooms. We've breed Neovend. We've discovered a new type of mushroom. We have our own farm now. We've joined a commune. We've taken down Haven Age and Harden, and yet there's still so much to do. There's still have to enter the Greenway, fix the Ambergris, aid the Flotilla, and do all the DLC. Get to know Emphas still has an option there for it, so apparently I haven't finished that. Help Bliss, which I definitely haven't forgotten about. Don't think I did. Even though I did. And then help Rico's experiments, win a side rail ticket, and work for Rabia. There's still so much to do, despite the fact that we've really closed the loop on a lot of those stories. Ethan isn't here anymore. Incredible. We've got the tracker out of our brain. It's been a very productive day. I'm very happy with how this story is wrapping up, but I feel like this is a really good time to stop now. I feel like there's plenty to do next time, and we've got an ad coming up, so I'm just going to cut it a little short so that we don't run into that, because no one really needs that. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. I will not be streaming this Friday because I've got some family in town, so we're going to be spending time with them. I will be back on Monday, though, as usual, streaming some more art. I'm working on that background Just Chatting painting. I've made a little bit more progress on it, but you know what? It's taking some time because it's an ambitious illustration, but I'm going to be kind to myself about that. So join me on Monday at 2 p.m. and we'll have some more chill art streams. And then, honestly, because of the way that the last Pokemon Nuzlocke stream ended, well, I don't know what's going to be on Tuesday anymore. I'm going to figure that out. I might double up on art streams because I've been enjoying those, but I might also change it up so that I'm playing something like some retro games instead. The art streams have been really nice and have been a great way of me getting some extra work done that I've been wanting to and keeping me focused. So I don't know. I'll keep you updated. I'll add a schedule onto Instagram and Blue Sky where I am at Faulty Friday for both of those. And I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your week. See you next Monday.